Good evening, I'm John Dickerson. This is our Western edition. As tensions grew today in the U.S.-China trade war, consumers and investors found themselves caught in the middle. China today retaliated against President Trump's new tariffs by raising their own, which will hurt Americans trying to sell goods in China. That sent stocks into a slide. The Dow lost 617 points, its worst one-day loss since early January. Paula Reid reports despite this, the president is digging in.
Today's market plunge comes amid an escalating trade war between Washington and Beijing. This morning, China announced it would impose tariffs on $60 billion worth of U.S. goods starting June 1st, in retaliation for the Trump administration raising tariffs on $200 billion in Chinese imports last week. While investors were rattled by the prospect of an indefinite battle between the world's two largest economies, President Trump seemed to relish the fight.
I love the position we're in. There can be some retaliation, but it can't be very, very substantial by comparison.
Mr. Trump is even mulling additional tariffs.
We have the right to do another $325 billion at 25% in additional tariffs. That is a tremendous amount of money that would come into our country.
But tariffs don't bring money into the U.S. They are paid as a tax by U.S. importers, who often pass that cost onto U.S. consumers. In a new report, Goldman Sachs confirmed the cost of U.S. tariffs have fallen entirely on U.S. businesses and households, and warned the consequences could worsen if a deal is not reached. Even White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow admitted Sunday the administration's approach hurts the U.S.
But it's U.S. businesses and U.S. consumers who pay, correct?
Yes, to some extent. Again, both sides will suffer on this.
Among those suffering, Minnesota soybean farmer Brad Hovell.
It's getting really tough.
Hovell says China's demand for Minnesota's soybean crop has dropped significantly since the trade war began. Today, soybean prices hit a 10-year low.
It is a shame that they put them retaliatory tariffs on us.
President Trump says he will meet with China's President Xi Jinping at the G20 summit, but that's 7 weeks away. And so far, that far-off prospect has not been enough to reassure nervous investors. John?
All right, Paula Reid at the White House for us. Thanks, Paula.